Good afternoon, guys. I hope that you're having a great day. I'm out here in the backyard and it's May 30th right now, and I'm gonna do a garden tour for what's happening at the end of May out in the garden. We're starting here by the back door like we always do. So this English daisy is doing really well still in this pot. I've been deadheading as much as I can and it seems to be helping it along. We've been getting a lot of rain, so that also could be helpful for it, but it looks beautiful and I hope that it'll last into the summer, so we'll see. And then we've got my beautiful viola basket, which the hummingbirds have actually really been loving, which is exciting. This last weekend I trimmed some of the dead fern off, but unfortunately I think we're only going to get one tall lily this year. For some reason the other one's top broke off, so I'm not sure what happened there. But the wisteria is looking pretty healthy. I've got to trim off the little tendrils up here so it doesn't reach the house. One's getting pretty close, but it's looking really healthy, which is good. And then this is my new wind chime that my husband got me for my birthday. It's really cute. It's got a little cat on the top. And then this little birdhouse here has some baby birds in it. I saw the mama bird feeding her babies for the first time last weekend, so I was really excited for that. And then if you look back here, it's a disaster, but I sprinkled some wildflower, like a wildflower seed packet, and a few other leftover seeds that I had back here. So I'm probably gonna take a weed whacker, and I don't want to get too close to this little birdhouse. Anyway, what I was saying is I think I'm going to take a weed whacker or get in here and kind of do a quick weed of all the tall. I don't even know if you can see it with the light, but there's tall grass in here, so I want to just kind of whack that down. Definitely around the peonies and the iris I'll not use the weed whacker, but some of it can be pulled out, and then hopefully we'll get some wildflower germination at some point. These are pink poppies and they're beautiful. None of them have opened yet, but any day now. I think I actually see one over here that's about to pop open, so it's very exciting. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some wildflowers in here. Not sure, but I'm not sure. This space doesn't get a ton of sun during the summer, but maybe the warmer weather will help. It gets kind of shaded by this pergola here. We've got our clematis here that's growing up really tall, and then the one on the other side's actually, you can see it a little bit too, right here. So we'll see. I don't know, this one hasn't been doing good the last few years, so I might have to replace it. And then out here on this bed is looking pretty barren, but also there's a lot of life happening as well. This blueberry plant is so loaded. I'm so excited for all those to start ripening. And then our first lupin is blooming. It's the first one ever. I started this from seed last year, and I thought it had died, but it came back, and there's actually another lupin plant behind it. And hopefully we'll be getting a bloom off of that maybe next year, or maybe later this summer, I'm not sure. We've got some echinacea that came back. I planted some Mexican sunflowers right here. I planted a nasturtium because I was running out of spaces, so I just threw that one in there. And then this last weekend I also kind of broadcast a bunch of seeds, flower seeds, in this bed, and it's gonna get weedy, but I want to see what will germinate for flowers, and I don't want to go it through and weed everything and then accidentally weed little flower seedlings out. So I'm going to let it get a little weedy, and then I'll take out like the tall weeds, the ones that I know are actually weeds. But hopefully we'll get some germination with some flower seeds in here as well. The poppies are going strong, the red ones here. Some of them need to be deadheaded because they're on their way out, and I don't really want these to spread too much more in this bed. I mean, we're getting a lot. And then these beautiful peonies back here are in full bloom, and the bees are loving them. I mean, how fun are they? I love them. They're so beautiful. Strawberries, we've got lots of strawberries on here. Just waiting for those to ripen. And we've got a bunch of California poppies that are, bunch of California poppies that have volunteered. So that's exciting, and we actually have a few over here that are almost ready to bloom. You can see that. Yep, right there. And then my dahlias, the one in the pot is doing fantastic. And then I did have a little sprout here from the one that I planted, but I'm pretty sure it got eaten by slugs. But this one over here seems to be looking pretty good too. So that's hopeful. And then all my pots I've got out here, I planted two peppers. I'm pretty sure they're both sweet peppers in pots out here. Our strawberry pot that's got a lot of strawberries in it. And then this beautiful sage plant that's flowered. It's so beautiful. And then over here, this last weekend I planted my tarragon starts out here in this pot. So hopefully that'll get nice and big. I've never had a lot of success with tarragon, so hopefully starting it inside really helped. And then I added some nasturtiums to this pot that I had started, and then also I planted a few of the seeds. So we'll see what this pot looks like later on in the summer. And then in this pot I planted some catnip seeds. And yeah, I've never had a lot of success with catnip either, so that's a total experiment. This oregano is doing really great. These beautiful violas here that I planted a few weeks ago are looking lovely too. Been getting a lot of use out of this. I've been getting a lot of use out of this garlic chives, and then the sage plant that we bought earlier in the season looks to be doing really great as well. If we walk along the path, we've got another blueberry plant that looks like it's also loaded with blueberries. And then this is a new addition. My husband got this for me also for my birthday, and his little belly, he's solar, and his little belly lights up at night. It's so cute. The chives have opened up fully, so I'll be harvesting these. I'm not going to harvest them all because the bees really love them. But I want to try making some chive blossom vinegar this year, and I think it'll be really good in salad dressings over the summer. And then this blueberry plant has come back with a vengeance. Last year it didn't produce any berries, and this year it's got a whole new stem coming up, and it's got a bunch of berries on it. I need to get in here and get rid of the grass. And this whole little bed used to have an edge, so I want to come through and give it an edge again and try and kill as much grass out of here as I can. The mint is coming back to life, and more chive flowers. This variegated oregano is back. My thyme is flowering, but I can see some new growth on it. This is lemon thyme, and I think we've talked about it but I have a really hard time with lemon thyme, but it's gotten more leaves on it since the last time we spoke, so who knows, maybe it'll come back this year. It's just looking very sparse, like there's only thyme leaves on the little tips, so we'll see. Let's start over here. We've got lots of onions coming up. These I bought at Walmart. And then my parsley's doing really well. I planted 3 peppers in here. I believe they're they're cayenne, and I think there's a jalapeno too. I planted a purple basil here, and then I replanted cilantro, and a whole bunch of it came up, but I'm having problems with slugs, so I'm going to be putting out some slug bait to try and deter them from this batch. And then I think they're eating the dill as well that's next to it, so that's unfortunate. The peas are looking really great. We've got a lot of flowers, and I think we'll be harvesting our first peas here in the next week or so. I decided that I wanted to plant my beans, so I just planted my beans next to the peas, and I'm going to let them do what they do. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just direct sow some beans as well. My 3 zucchini plants here are looking really healthy. And then I've got all my tomatoes behind them. They're looking really healthy as well. And these are the ones that I planted them like sideways, and if that makes sense, like I laid them down and then kind of propped them up a little bit with soil, and so they've got a really strong root structure, and I think that's really helped them this year. But I'm excited for tomato season, like I am every year, and I think it's going to be a good one. So we're over here in the more shaded bed, and I've got, as you can see, I have a ton of radishes, but unfortunately a lot of my radishes actually are starting to bolt. Not sure, because the weather really hasn't been that warm, so I'm not sure what's happening, but I've been pulling all the ones that are bolting because it just ruins the texture, and it's pretty tragic, but I can always plant some more, but I think I'm gonna plant some, like succession plant some lettuce as well. The beets are doing pretty good. One row isn't doing super great, but there's one row where the greens are really starting to show. We're getting some really nice lettuce back here, the carrots. I need to get in and thin what I can. And then I've got 2 bush variety tomatoes here that are looking okay. This one actually has grown more than this one. And I think what happened is I saw that someone, when they have a determinate variety of tomato, they don't like to clip off the suckers because they'll grow as big, they don't get super big. And I did clip off some suckers off of these, so I hope that didn't like stunt them, but we'll see. As you can see, the Swiss chard is looking super great. This is the first time, I bought the starts for these at the hardware store, but this is the first time I've gotten Swiss chard to grow in my garden really well. It's looking super healthy, and I've been harvesting off of them for breakfast. And then I have some purple romaine that I purchased at the hardware store, but then the lettuce that I started from seed is looking really healthy as well. I've just been trying to keep the slugs off of it as best I can. And then I planted a jalapeno, and I think there's some sweet banana peppers in here as well. I need to definitely harvest the Swiss chard because it looks like it's partially shading the peppers, which we definitely don't want, since this bed doesn't get as much sun as this bed. But everything's looking really healthy, and I'm excited to see what else can grow in this bed. My yellow irises have bloomed. And then something really exciting is I have some purple iris blooming. And the reason I'm so excited about this is because this plant, these iris rhizomes were actually dug up from my dad's old yard, which was my childhood home that he moved out of last year. And the fact that they're blooming in my garden now just makes me super happy. And then I've got a lily coming up here. This hosta is looking super healthy. And then, unfortunately, this viola plant is the flowers are getting decimated by slugs. And, you know, I've learned a lot of things this year that slugs like. Like, they apparently really love cilantro and viola flowers. And I saw one chomping on an onion, one of my onion greens the other day. So, apparently, slugs like all of that. But, and then back here, this is a bleeding heart, but it's done blooming this year. But this is the first year we got some blooms on it, and it was so precious. And I'm so excited because I thought that plant died. But I need to get in here and do a little weeding. There's a bunch of buttercup here that I just like cannot, it's impossible for me to kill. So I think I'm gonna try some cardboard back here. But I want to get in and pull what I can out and then lay the cardboard down because it's even coming up in my irises here. These are orange irises and they're about to bloom too. And then I have irises here that actually have not bloomed for a really long time, which I'm not sure, and I wonder if it's because of the shade, but who knows? Like, this is a very shaded area over here. Not like super shaded. I mean, obviously there's getting a little bit of sun, but especially these, like, they don't get a ton of sun. So I'm not sure, and I wonder if could be the grass that's taking all the nutrients from it. So we'll see. Maybe I will have to dig them out and then try and kill the grass or create a bed here like there used to be and then replant them. But we'll see. And then, unfortunately, this lilac bush is done blooming, but it was beautiful and it smelled so great. And then the Japanese maple is looking really beautiful. And I'm not sure what this plant is. If you know what this plant is, let me know. It's looking super healthy. And then the hydrangea that I clipped back last year, looks like I need to clip back more of the woody parts, but it's got leaves on it. And I don't know if it's going to bloom this year, but we'll see. Look at the first little pea. We've got lots of flowers here. And here's another one. Hopefully we'll get I don't know, a decent harvest. I've never gotten a ton of peas, which I'm not sure why, but last year I got a bounty of beans. So hopefully the beans survive. I've been having to keep an eye on them because the slugs love eating the bean leaves. And now we are over here at my squash patch. That's looking so great. These are fairy tale pumpkins, and they're looking super healthy. I'm very excited about this. First year I'm growing pumpkins, and I got these seeds from a pumpkin that I bought at the grocery store last year. So I'm really excited about that. This is a yellow squash, and I did have another one, but I lost it to slugs. So this weekend I planted another seed, so hopefully we'll see that one sprout in the next week or so. I've planted a Mexican sunflower back here, and then I've got three gray zucchini plants here. And then these are Jack B. Little pumpkins. They're like the mini orange pumpkins, and I'm really excited about those. One of my goals for the year was wanting to grow my own pumpkin decorations so I didn't have to buy any from the store. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we'll get some. And then my alliums are in full bloom. That guy needs to be propped up a little, but the bees are loving it. And then we've got some foxgloves here. all of the lilies have their buds on them, and in a few weeks, or the next few weeks, these will be in full bloom, which is gorgeous. It'll be gorgeous, just a sea of red. And then I have a daylily back here from my dad's yard, and I can see buds on it, which is so exciting. There's a big thing of grass back there, but I actually don't mind it. I think I will eventually pull it out, but it just kind of fills in everything and doesn't look terrible. So, and then back here behind the foxgloves, we've got a hollyhock that's looking healthier than it ever has. The leaves, I mean, some of the leaves look a little lacy, but for the most part, they're looking pretty good. There's a foxglove growing out of the wall here. I need to definitely keep an eye on that. I don't want it to go to seed in the grass. So, and then up on the wall here, I planted a lavender because we really don't have a ton of stuff in here. I don't know if this is a great spot for lavender because lavender is definitely a full sun plant. It's drought tolerant though, and I don't really have to water up here. All these trees seem to do pretty okay. So we'll see, but it's blooming, which is nice. And then I just threw some more nasturtiums up here that actually look pretty good as well. And I'm hoping that they'll just kind of trail over the wall and look pretty. But I do need to make sure that those get watered regularly. Do you see all this bee activity on here? Then in the wine barrel, I planted 3 bell pepper plants. This one's still pretty stunted, but these guys are looking good. And then I threw some more nasturtiums in that I had started. And then I also planted some marigold seeds in here. And I'm hoping that those will start sprouting soon. This area is looking super wild. And this this rhododendron is about to finish blooming, but it's got the most beautiful pink blooms on it. We've got our French lavender here that's blooming. There's a bit of a dead spot on it, so that I need to trim that off. But then I believe this is English lavender here, these two. These are starting to bloom as well. Looks so lovely. I just need to get in and make sure that the grass isn't choking it out. Beautiful. Turned out to be a nice day. It was cold this morning and kind of wet. All right, so we're over at my problem child bed, which actually is turning out not to be such a problem child. These onions are doing really great. And then I planted 3 beans here. Some of the leaves have been nibbled on by slugs, but I've been monitoring that. But they seem to be growing up the trellis, the cattle panel trellis, which is exciting. I have one, it's the heirloom beefsteak variety tomato here. He seems to be doing just as good as the other ones. This bed gets more morning sun than afternoon sun. So it'll be an experiment to see which is better. And then I've got some more peppers in here as well. And then these are snapdragons. I've got some red romaine. And then this is a bush variety zucchini. So it's smaller. It doesn't get as big, I think. It just says bush zucchini. I've got one there, and I've got actually 2 here. I just planted, this one had started, but then once I planted it out, the other seed in the little thing decided to start. Not sure if I'm going to just pull that new sprout out or not. And then these are golden nugget squashes. They're supposed to do really good in small spaces. Unfortunately, well, my sweet peas, these are still going, but they're not growing super fast. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But the peas that I actually, like the edible peas that I actually direct sown in this bed, they're doing great. They're growing up. Unfortunately, the weird, like, blip of warm weather we had has made my spinach bolt. So we'll see. I think I might just pull this out and try some other seeds in here. And then we have another set of onions here. If our onions do well this year, we're going to have quite a bit, as you've seen. But this bed, I mean, things are growing in it this year, which is really exciting. And I hope that it does well. I've seen worms in it, and I've been just kind of, I pulled some bolted lettuce out, and I'm just dropping it in to keep that, to keep the organic matter going in here. And we'll just see what happens, but everything's looking really healthy right now. And then this, look at this beautiful iris. I don't know if you can see it as well, but it's got like a light purple tip, and then it's kind of pinky on the center. I think this is also from my dad's yard, and this is the first time it's bloomed in this area, and it looks so beautiful. There's only one, but I just need to get in here and get rid of the grass. And then we've got another clematis here. There's a clematis actually behind here that's actually growing up the cattle panel trellis, but it's got a little trellis back there too. But yeah. And then our friend actually was so nice and came through here and weeded a lot of there was a ton of dandelions. So he weeded that out for us. And I'm just checking, but I do think that there is some wildflower seeds that have sprouted. There's like some sweet alyssum here. But who knows? They could all be weeds in here, but I like that it looks less weedy. And then got our big lilac bush here. I see blooms on it, but I don't know, it didn't get a lot of blooms, so I need to do some research, and we might have to trim it back. I mean, there's this big branch that's coming out over the lawn, so, and I think maybe they enjoy being pruned, so we'll see. And then over here, as you'll see in my last video, I did a whole bunch of weeding, and this area just looks so nice. The hosta is looking really pretty. The hydrangea's looking great. It's got some, I can see it's definitely got a ton of new growth, but it's got some blooms, some blossoms starting on it. And then I need to figure out how to prune this rhododendron, because it's kind of taking over the pathway here. But it's giant, and it blooms every year, so I think it likes that spot definitely. But everything is just looking very lush due to all the spring rain we've been getting this month. It's just so peaceful back here. That's why, I don't know if you can tell, but it's like my favorite spot in the whole house is just being back here in the backyard. And yeah, I just want to do some more entertaining out here this summer, and hopefully get an abundance of vegetables out of the garden. Alright, well that's going to be it for me today and for this video. I hope that you enjoyed my May 2024 garden tour, and there'll be more garden tours as the summer goes on, so you'll be able to see every step of the way, everything that's happening in the garden, and I can't wait to share more of my gardening adventures with you this summer. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, as it really supports my channel, and if you haven't already, please subscribe so you can follow along on all the gardening adventures. I hope that you're having a great day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.